Okay, we need to talk about From. We waited. We made theories. We rewatched the whole thing. We got through that massive hiatus just waiting, praying that Season 4 would finally give us some answers. And what did we get? We got more vague conversations, more traumatic monologues, and a whole lot more of people just staring into the woods. Seriously, if I wanted to watch miserable people in a forest, I'd just go camping. We were promised this big revelation, but instead, it feels like we just got a bunch of homework.
But here's the absolutely wild part. According to the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, Season 4 of From, it isn't just good. It is, and I'm not making this up, literally perfect. 100%. A flawless season of television. Which, I don't know about you, but if you've actually been watching the show, that feels kind of like a prank, right?
And this slide right here tells the whole story. You see the critics' scores climbing up to that so-called perfection, but look at the audience scores. They're in a total nosedive, from a solid 87% all the way down to 73%. That's not just a little gap, that is a canyon. So you have to ask, what is going on? Maybe critics are seeing some deep, thematic character drama? But for us fans, the ones who signed up for a crazy monster mystery, it feels like the show completely forgot what it was about.
And that really brings us to the big question here. How can a show that critics are calling a masterpiece feel like such a huge letdown to the people who've invested years in it? All right, let's get into it.
Okay, first and biggest problem, the Mystery Box Treadmill. You know that feeling, right, where you're running as fast as you can every single week, but you are not actually going anywhere. The show has just stopped paying off its old mysteries and decided to just open a bunch of new ones instead.
I mean, let's just do a quick lightning round of the stuff we're still waiting on, shall we? What are the talismans? Who is the boy in white? What was that whole cicada thing? The lighthouse? The creepy ghost kids? Where does the magical teleporting tree go? And that's just what I can think of off the top of my head. We have been waiting so patiently for just a tiny little crumb of an explanation on any of these.
But instead of answers, what does Season 4 give us? Oh, just a brand new villain called the Man in Yellow, literal time travel, the idea the characters are being reincarnated, and a new girl who shows up who is also the Man in Yellow. It's not a story anymore, it's just a pop quiz where the only answer is, here are some more questions.
And look, this isn't just me ranting into a camera. This feeling is real. Fan analyses have absolutely nailed the problem, describing the show as an idiot box, a machine built to just dangle mysteries in front of us while only giving us, and I quote, a spoonful of information.
And let's be real about that spoon. It's a baby spoon. It's one of those teeny tiny decorative spoons you get for like a fancy salt cellar. There's barely enough plot on that thing to keep us going. Okay, which brings me to problem number 2, the dreaded Déjà Vu Loop. The show isn't just adding new mysteries, it's making us relive the old ones. And it does this with the single most frustrating trope in television, the newbie who refuses to believe what's happening.
I mean, this just says it all, doesn't it? In Season 4, we get a new character, Sophia. And what's her story? She arrives confused and crashes her car. She refuses to believe in monsters. She argues about how she's going to leave, and she puts everyone in danger until she's finally forced to accept it. Does any of that sound familiar? It should, because it's the exact same plot we went through with every single new person back in Season 1.
It is literally narrative recycling. We are spending valuable screen time watching characters have the same arguments that were settled 3 years ago. We get it, the place is weird. There are monsters. Can we please move on?
And this leads us to the third big issue, the show's huge shift in tone. Remember when From started? It was this terrifying, high-stakes survival horror show. Now it's more like a slow psychological drama, or as I've started calling it, a psychological snooze.
I mean, you can see it right here in the numbers. Back in Season 1, the screams per episode count was through the roof. It was pure nightmare fuel. Emotional monologues? Pretty low. Now, in Season 4, those numbers have completely flipped. The monsters are on the bench, and long, drawn-out conversations about trauma are the new star players.
And trust me, fans have noticed. This one Reddit user just hit the nail on the head. The whole show feels like a daytime soap opera, but with a horror theme. And honestly, I can't think of a better way to describe it. The pacing, the endless talking, it's all there.
So what we have now is a show that used to be genuine nightmare fuel, and it's turned into a series of scenes where every single character just wants to say, we need to talk. And look, that's a choice, but it's not the show we fell in love with.
So that leads us to the big, really uncomfortable question, especially because we know the show is ending next season. Why are we still here? Why are we still watching this every week? And I think the answer is a classic psychological trap.
Let me introduce you to the sunk cost fallacy. It's that feeling you get when you've already put so much time and energy and emotion into something that you just can't walk away, even if it's not making you happy anymore. You've come this far, right? You might as well see how it ends.
And I think for most of us, this is pretty much the breakdown. The vast majority of us are watching because of that sunk cost fallacy. Then you've got a smaller slice of genuine, pure hope that the writers are going to pull it all together at the end. And of course, you've got a small, but very dedicated group of people who are just here to watch people stare into the woods.
So I'll leave you with this final thought as we head into this last season. We really have to ask ourselves, are we still watching because we actually love this show? Or have we, just like the characters, found ourselves trapped in a place we just can't seem to escape from, hoping that someone, somewhere, has a plan to get us out?